Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Nick's Impromptu Reviews. I'm Nick, and today I'm going to review Dungeon Roll by Tasty Minstrel Games, or some of you may know it just TMG. And yes, this is the entire game in this neat little handy, actually pretty neat treasure box, okay? And the entire game is in here. It's a dice rolling game, kind of a pressure luck style game, kind of like zombie dice, except it combines that with a typical dungeon crawl. Go in, kill monsters, get treasure. And goes from 1 to 4 players, pretty quick, okay? Probably like a filler type game, okay? But basically what you're doing is, the object is to get your party as deep into the dungeon as possible without dying and gathering as much treasure as you can. And that's how you get points, and whoever gets the most points at the end of the delves, you get 3 delves, and the end of the delve wins the game, okay? So it's real simple, and yeah, it just simply has dice and tokens, not much, okay? So let's see, does this little simple dice game, does it give the feel of a real dungeon crawl? Let's find out. Okay, so here are all the components to the game. Okay, so let's start off right here. First, you have these white dice, which are called the party dice, which kind of is going to represent your adventures that are going to go into the dungeon. These are the monster dice, or I think they call them the dungeon dice, and they represent most of them. They represent the treasures and the monsters that you're going to fight, as well as some potions. Okay, and here you're going to have your special character card. Okay, so basically these give you an ability to help you out during your delve. And right here you have a 10-sided dice, which indicates your level dice. And here you have a bunch of experience tokens, which you're going to earn by going deep into the dungeon. The deeper you go, the more points you get. And then you have these little handy cheat sheets, and I've always said I like cheat sheets in games. They always help you out. Every game could always use a cheat sheet. Okay, and it gives you like what every face dice does, and gives you a description of all the treasures you can get. Speaking of treasures, inside the treasure box you'll have a bunch of these treasure tokens. So there is a purpose to this treasure box other than just looking cool. Okay, so those are all the components of this game. Okay, now before I show you how an actual turn goes, or I might even show you an entire delve, let's explain what the faces of the dice do. Okay, so first you have the white party dice. Now these represent your characters, okay, your party, okay, and each one has a facing. Okay, so let me show you what each side does. Okay, so this is a wizard. Okay, so if you roll this at the beginning, you're gonna have a wizard going, and the wizard, they can kill one monster or all oozes, okay? And oozes are these little guys here, okay? And generally all the heroes that you roll, they can kill one monster of any type, but then there's one that they specialize in, and they can kill all types of it that are rolled, okay? So in this case, the wizard can kill the oozes. And if you notice, they're color coordinated. Notice the wizard is blue and the ooze is blue. So that means that it can kill all oozes, all right? And next up we have, okay, so we have the fighter, which is the same thing, okay? It can kill one monster, or it can kill all goblins, okay? And again, notice that they're both green, okay? So if it's the same color, they can kill all of that type, okay? So they're very good at killing goblins. And then we have the cleric, okay? That's a cleric, and it can kill any one monster or all skeletons or undead, okay? All right, so those are the three, those are the 3 basic classes. Now there's one more class called the thief, okay? Now the thief is probably the weakest fighter out there, because it doesn't specialize in a monster, okay? So basically it can only kill one monster. However, because one of the dice you can roll, it can open as many treasures as it can, okay? So if you roll 2 or more treasures, you can spend itself to open all of them, not just one, okay? So they're specialized in opening treasure, okay? And now we have 2 other facings, okay? here we have the scroll, okay? Now, you can spend the scroll to revive any dice that you've used, like any dice that are in the graveyard, okay? And I'll explain that later. And then you have, finally, you have the hero. Now, the hero is kind of like the wild card, okay? It can kill any one type of monster, okay? So yeah, it's basically all the other ones combined, okay? So whether you have if you roll a lot of goblins or a lot of skeletons, it can kill all of that one type, okay? But you can only choose one type. All right, and those are the 6 sides of the party dice. As for this, okay, I already showed you the monsters, the goblins, the ooze, the skeleton, and I showed you the treasure. Okay, now there's 2 more facings. One is the dragon. If you roll 3 of these during your delve, the dragon awakes and you're gonna have problems. Okay, then again, if you beat it, then you'll be able to get a lot of treasure. And these are potions that you can quaff. Okay, and yeah, I'll explain that one later. Okay, I'm glad I actually paused because I just realized I made a mistake. All right, so what happens is, how I said like the scroll is gonna revive people from the graveyard, I made a mistake. The potions revive people from the graveyard, all right? What the scrolls do, if you roll a scroll, you can re-roll any number of your party dice, okay? And when you do, you have to take the second result, okay? And as for this is the one that revives people from the graveyard. So you spend one character, 1 dice, and then 1 quaff potion, and then you're able to like revive any dice that you have in the graveyard. Okay, so that's what those 2 do. All right, so why don't we go ahead and show you how a delve goes. I might be able to show you an entire delve, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, well, first off, okay, this is the level marker, okay? And this represents the levels of the dungeons you're going to start with, okay? So let's start level 1, and let's just grab one random hero. In fact, I'm not going to go with the hero yet, okay? We'll just go basic right now, just to show you how this game goes. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to roll your party dice, okay? And you should have 7, all right? Now, this is going to represent your party that's going into this level 1 dungeon, okay? So roll that, and there you go. You have it right there. Okay? Alright, now, if I had a potion, or not a potion, but if I had a scroll, I'd be able to roll those, but I ended up with this, and oh man, a lot of thieves. Okay, so I have 4 thieves, I have 1 cleric, 1 hero, and a fighter. Okay, so this is what I'm taking into the dungeon, alright? So here's what I'm going to do. Level 1, okay? So the person next to me, or to the left of me, if you're playing more than 4 players, they're going to represent the dungeon master, or the the evil guy who's going to roll the monsters, okay? So what they do, they look at the level, okay? And then they roll that many dice, depending on the level. So this is level 1, they get to roll 1 dice. Bam. Okay, and they roll the skeleton. Okay, so here's what they can do. Since it's just 1 skeleton, and I know the cleric specializes it, but I don't want to save my cleric. Okay, well, since the thieves are kind of weak at fighting, I'm gonna go ahead and use the thief to kill that monster. Okay, so I was successful. Okay, so what happens is that this guy is dead, all right, and this one goes into what they call the graveyard. Okay, so that's like your discard pile. All right, so that's it. I completed the dungeon, all right, and that was level 1, all right? So now I have the option. Should I keep going, or should I go back to the dungeon, and then if I do, I get whatever level I completed, I get that much experience. So if I quit now, I get 1 experience. Well, obviously, I have 6 heroes still, all right? And the next one is only going to be 2 monsters, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go to the next level, which is level 2, okay? There we go. So now we're doing level 2. And again, that one's dead. That one's used up, so I can't use that one anymore. So I'm left with 6 dice, all right? So we're in level 2. So now get to roll 2 dice. Okay, so we have an ooze and a goblin. Okay, so again, I can use 2 guys to kill that. And you know what? I'll go ahead and use the other 2 thieves. Why not? Right? They can kill 1 monster. Bam. So I use those 2 to kill those. Okay. So those guys go to the graveyard. Let's go back to the pot. All right, and that's it. I completed level 2. All right. Should I go again? Why not? Right. So now level 3. Okay. So now this time, roll 3 dice. And we have an ooze, we have a goblin, and we have a treasure. Alright? Alright, so here's what's going to happen. Alright. Regardless, I'm going to end up with just one. Now, I have the option. I don't have to open the treasure. I can just leave it so I'll have more people when I fight. So I'll probably just kill off these two, right? Kill off these two with this, and then open it with, I can open it with either one, okay, because anyone here can open a treasure, okay? And I'll open it with that, okay? So if I open a treasure, I go ahead and randomly take a treasure chip, and I get this dagger. And what does the dagger do? I forgot what the dagger does. Oh, so it can be used as a thief. So basically, this is an extra character. I can use it as another thief, okay? Alright, so now I have this dilemma. Okay, so now I completed level 3. I only have 1, okay? So, it'll probably be a good idea to quit and pass the dice to another person. Alright, so that means I get the latest dungeon I completed, I get 3, okay? So I'll take 3 experience, and that will be my turn. Alright? Now, suppose suppose I wanted to be daring. I wanted to go level 4. Okay, now let's say do it this way, in fact. I did not want to open that treasure, okay? So let's put that treasure back, okay? And so I just wanted to leave it with 2, okay? So I guess this is more plausible. Alright, so now I'm going to, and I'll just, suppose I'm risky today. I have 2 left, and I'll go for level 4. Alright, so, oops, so I grab 4 dice, or my neighbor grabs 4 dice, and then they roll, and okay. Well, first of all, check this out. This might not be that bad. Alright, so the dragon, and goes with the dragons there. I'll explain that later. And I have 2 monsters and a treasure, and it'll probably most likely kill these 2 and forget the treasure, and then I end up at level 4, okay? Alright, so that was my delve, and let's go with my original delve. I ended up with 3 in that 1 dagger, okay? That 1 dagger, alright? Alright, and that's pretty much what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing 3 delves each turn, okay? And like I said, I guess I didn't show it in this example, but I did not roll any doubles or triples, okay? But basically, let's say if I rolled 2 oozes and I had a wizard, instead of using, I can use 1 die to kill all these oozes, okay? And then kill that one. So that would have been successful, okay? So that's pretty much it. It seems simple, but yeah, you do this 3 times, and whoever has the most experience, and I think you get 1 point per treasure. So you add up the experience and the points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. Okay, now, like you said, I rolled a dragon on that last turn. Okay, so let's explain the dragon. Okay, so as you're going through delves, okay, and when you complete a delve, when you quit and go back to the tavern, everything resets, okay, including you get to re-roll your party dice, all right? All right, now suppose during your delve, okay, you roll a dragon. What happens, it goes to the dragon's there and it's put aside, okay? Now, it's put aside until you roll 3 dragon heads, okay? So first of all, when you roll 3 dragon heads, it's going to be tough. First of all, you have to kill off all the monsters that you've rolled first, okay? Then you have to fight the dragon. And how do you beat the dragon? You have to roll 3, you got to use 3 different heroes, okay? So you gotta roll something like, you gotta use something like that, okay? Not roll it, but if you have some of those remaining, you have to use something like that. So after you kill your monsters, if you have 3 different ones, you'll be able to kill the dragon, and you get a lot of XP and treasure, okay? And so that's another thing that you have to keep in mind, okay? Fighting the dragon. Okay, one last thing, let's look at the heroes, okay? So like I said, at the beginning of the game, you get to draw these heroes, and I believe there is, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 heroes. Yeah, there are 8 different heroes, okay? And what they do, they give you a little ability, okay? So let's look at this one. Okay, so this one, and they have 2 different sides, okay? They have the basic level, and then when you hit level 5, you get this one. Okay, you get that level. All right. So let's look at these. All right. So this one, the specialty: thieves may be used as mages, and mages may be used as thieves. Okay, so that's pretty good. All right, and it has one ability on top, and then the bottom one, it's used once per delve. Okay, and as you can see, that little icon, that means that if you ever play Magic, you tap your card and you can't use it again. And what happens, you discard all the dice from the dragon's lair. Okay, so if you have dragon, you want to fight the dragon, you just tap it, and then you discard all your dice. And at the beginning of each delve, you go ahead and reset these things, okay? And let's see, we have the mercenary. When forming a party, you may reroll a number of party dice. That's pretty cool. That's at the beginning. And calculate shall you defeat any 2 monsters. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, what's this? This is the spell sword. Spell sword. Okay. Specialty fighters may use as mages, and mages may use as fighters. Okay, so it's the same as that other one. Arcane blades. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And these things, they do different abilities. Okay, and like I said, there's like there's a basic one, and then when you level up by, what's it, getting 5 experience or getting, I forgot, something like that. But anyways, there's a way to level up, and then you get something more powerful. Okay? All right, and that's pretty much the game. All right? And like I said, whoever has the most points at the end by combining the amount of treasures and the XP wins the game. Okay, I probably didn't mention this, but it's, it's pretty self-explanatory, but you have to beat all the monsters in the delve, okay? If you don't, if even one monster remains, or you don't have enough heroes to beat it, you retreat, which means you don't get any experience for the delve, and you have to pass the dice to the next player, okay? So I gotta reiterate that, okay? You must beat all the monsters in order to get the experience. All right, so that's where the press your luck element comes into play. You have to sort of decide, should I go in? I mean, if I quit now, I'll get this much XP, but should I risk it? Okay, so that's where the press your luck thing comes in. And the character sheets, now I just mentioned it briefly, but those little character cards that you have, they'll sort of dictate the way you play and dictate which type of dice you save and everything. So there's a little bit of strategy going on there. And if you get 5 experience points, you get to go to that advanced level of your character. Okay, in other words, you flip it over to the other side and you'll have more powerful abilities. Okay. Now, so all this, let's see, you have going into a dungeon, you have beating monsters, you have gathering treasure, you have getting XP. That's really the basics of a dungeon crawl. So my question before, does this game sort of this little simple game give you the feel of a actual dungeon crawl? And I guess it would. I mean, it has all those elements of RPG, and yeah, you do level up, sort of. Of course, it's just one level. You get either basic ability or advanced ability, but I mean, that's sort of an RPG element. All right, so yeah, I think it gives a nice basic feel of a dungeon crawl, and considering that it's a simple game, it's more like a filler that lasts only a few minutes. I think it's great. Okay. Also, there's a nice solo system in here. I mean, you can play this game solo, and what you can do is that you just try to best your score. Okay, and at the end of the instruction book, it gives you a little ranking. Okay, so from the low end, if you score a low amount of points, you're called dragon fodder, and the highest points, which is like 35 points or more, you're the hero of ages. So you have some sort of rankings that you can sort of brag about with your friends. Okay, so it has a decent solo play, and it scales pretty well. It goes from 1 to 4 players. Obviously, if you're playing 4 players, it lasts a little longer, but still, it's not that long, okay, because this is a very quick game. So it scales pretty well. All right, and so in a nutshell, yeah, it's really a compact dungeon crawl, okay, and it's pretty easy. It's very easy to teach. It's really similar to Zombie Dice, maybe a little deeper than Zombie Dice. Zombie Dice is very, very simple, and you can teach that to non-gamers. This one has has a little bit of a Dungeons and Dragons flavor to it. Okay, so if you have someone who's interested in, even just a little bit interested in Dungeons and Dragons, you can teach this to them. All right, this would be, in fact, this might be even like a good, if someone who doesn't know games and you want to get them into like RPGs, I guess this would be a nice little intro. All right, almost similar to Dungeon. So yeah, this would be a good I guess it would be a good gateway game, all right, for non-gamers, and maybe one that can introduce them to RPGs as well. Okay, first off, the neat little package here, the treasure chest, and it being this small, that's actually a plus, okay? When I have my game group meet every week and we have a game night, we have to like drag bags and bags of these games, especially Dominion, when I have like a ton of boxes and stuff, and it's kind of inconvenient. So for me, this is huge to be real small, because these ones I can always take, all right? Because there's always going to be room in my storage place or in my bag when I carry it, okay? So that is a plus. And the fact that it's a treasure chest, I think that's pretty cool. All right, so so as you see, it's like a press your luck game, very similar to Zombie Dice. If you ever played Zombie Dice, you keep rolling and try to get as many levels as you can, and trying to press your luck without like waking the dragon or just dying. Okay, so it does have that element, and the fact that you go 3 times, it gives more a pretty decent game time. Games last about 30 minutes, I think. They really don't last that long. 30 minutes is probably stretching it. There's some games that last real short period of time. Okay, so this would be kind of I would say it is a filler game. Okay, just like Zombie Dice or whatever, more complex than Zombie Dice. And does it give the feel of a dungeon crawl? Yes, it does. Okay, it does give the feel of a dungeon crawl, in my opinion. It's kind of basic, at least you get the cards that give you different abilities and everything. And the fact that, do I want to go farther? No, let's just go back to the tavern and, cut our losses, or, just stay where we are. So it's a decent game. Okay. I like the idea of the special cards that give you different abilities and everything, and it gives you a little, if you reach level 5, you get to have more powers and stuff. So there's a little bit of, of the RPG elements there. There's leveling up, there's treasures, there's monsters, and isn't that what a dungeon crawl really comes down to? Okay, and I'm not a big RPGer, but I just like things simple. Go in, kill monsters, get treasure, get out. Okay. I'm that type of guy. All right. So yeah, it's a nice little game. I like it. So yes, and like I said, it's real small, real convenient, and again, the treasure box, it looks really nice. Okay. So with that, I will give Dungeon Roll by Tasty Minstrel Games a 7 out of 10. Okay. It's a good filler game, I think. And it's not that hard to teach, okay? So I recommend buying this. All right, that is it. Until next time, I will see you all later. Goodbye.